If you're new tuning into the channel, I'm Gary Martin, one of the PGA professionals at Huddersfield Golf Club, and today I'm going to be doing a course walk, one of my best friends, Big Julian Walton. So we're at Siltston Golf Club. I spent probably about 6 years working at Siltston. I wanted assistancy, I had some really good years here, and we're just going to do a little bit of a course walk today, and we're going to have a talk about the new rules that come in 2019, because I think for some people they'll probably forgot most of them by now. I mean, there's a couple of main ones that I can remember, but to be quite fair to you, there's a lot that I've read and I've kind of overlooked. Jules, how you doing, mate?
I'm alright, thanks. Yeah, not bad. It's a cold morning.
It's a bit fresh, isn't it?
I've got a few more layers on than you, so I'm a bit warmer, a bit more comfortable.
It's absolutely Baltic, guys. I'll tell you what, I had a funny comment in messages from one at subscribers. I'd said it was Baltic in that last one, and he says, it's got some good news for you guys. He says, I'm from Canada. He says, it's just gone up 20 degrees in Canada, it's now minus 30. It made me laugh, that.
Feels like it's Canada today, doesn't it?
Feels like it's Canada, yeah, it definitely does. So Jules were down to 5 handicap. You were a really good golfer, weren't you?
Well, not too bad. I always wanted to improve, but
I actually caddied for him a few times in some league matches. He was always a good match player, but he's not played golf now. How long has it been?
we're closing in on 7 years.
So he's not played golf for 7 years, and that's why I thought it'd be fantastic to bring Jules along today, just to see what his reaction were to new rules. I mean, I think, you know, during these times it's a good thing for us to revisit, because some of these rules, and the ones we're going to discuss first, can really speed up play, and I don't think we're taking advantage of them. I really don't, and that's a big topic at the minute. I see it a lot in comments that come up in videos about speed of play, and I don't think we use rules to his advantage here, especially when we're playing social golf, and we'll go into a bit more depth about that. So after 7 years of being out of game, do you actually know any new rules that have come in?
To be honest with you, Gaz, because I don't play anymore, I don't really talk much about golf. The only sort of rules that I've picked up are the ones I've seen on TV.
And what have you seen? What have you picked up on?
So, and obviously I think this is based on speeding play up, is keeping the flag in when you put it.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
that's one I've picked up on.
I think that's one of the ones I can remember anyway.
The other one is when you're taking a drop from, let's say, hit it in water or in a hazard or whatever, you take a drop, and when I used to play, I used to take a drop from your shoulder height.
Shoulder height, yeah.
Whereas now, I've noticed it's more around, I don't know, what is it?
It's actually knee height.
Is it knee height? Right.
Yeah.
I know that watching golf, it caught a lot of golfers out when I was watching that, when it first changed, and it was strange to watch. So them probably the main two I've seen over the last few years.
So I think one of the things that we've not talked about so far is time that you've got for searching for a ball. Now, can you remember how long you were when you were playing?
I don't, but this is one of the ones which I think is absolute key for actually speeding play up.
What do you mean you don't know how long it used to be?
I've no idea. No idea. We're at 5 minutes.
It were 5 minutes, yeah, it were 5 minutes. For most people, it's 10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. This is the thing. This is when I'm saying I don't know how long it is. It's because I used to play on Saturdays and Sundays in competition, and some people would take 20 minutes looking for a golf ball, and I think, well, obviously they've been sort of told it's not 5 minutes. So.
But do you know, we all get a little bit like, you know, we all got us regular 4-ball. Are we strict enough with his own 4-ball? Do you know, are we letting them get away with murder because it's 3 minutes now? And I think we do have to time that, you know, for pace of play. It's all right, we're all moaning about it in us 4-balls, that it's too slow, but are we doing enough in us 4-balls to police that? You know, are we letting us mates get away with murder? I bet most of you are, you know. I mean, I find it is difficult, you know, when your mate's looking for a ball and he's got a good card going, it is a bit difficult, isn't it?
No, that's it. No, and you're desperate to finish off them last few holes with a good card, and you've not had anything above a 5 on your card. And you know, that 3 minutes, you're desperate for it to be still on 1.
So it is actually 3 minutes now, guys, and we've got to switch on to that a little bit, and you know, we can't really overlook that. And I'll tell you that if I'm playing with James or any guys this year, they're getting it. They're not having more than 3 minutes. And so I think
after 3 minutes, what happens? Do they go back to tee?
Well, if they've not hit a provisional, then they've got to go back to tee. So that's one that we need to be switched on about, I think.
Could have done with a 7-iron for this. Oh.
So that used to be a one-shot penalty, but now it's all right. There's no penalty for that.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe that.
So if your ball rebounds, hits you, or hits any of your equipment, there's no penalty. So Jules, I have got a bit of an apology to make to the subscribers.
What's that?
I was telling Jules on way up here, when we were walking up, on the last rules and etiquette, I was absolutely ripping into Lee for not knowing about the tee order. You know, the handicap order, you know, teeing off in handicap order.
It's a grey area, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I asked Jules, I said to Jules on way up, I said, what were your understanding of teeing off? You know, what order would you have teed off in when you used to play golf? And what were your answer?
We always said the better golfer tees off first, the lowest handicap.
Well, for some reason, I've been brainwashed into thinking that were actually a rule. You know, and I work at industry, I'm a bit embarrassed, but it just shows you sometimes, you know, that we don't read that little white book, do we? You know, we don't read all rules in it, and you know, it's quite easy for us to just sort of, you know, to make a mistake with rules and really believe that you know the rule. And it was one of the subscribers that pointed out I was completely wrong. You know, there isn't even such a rule. So I think the R&A now encourage you to play ready golf where you can.
Yep.
And then the golf clubs, they will decide the tee order by the draw. So, you know, that could be drawn in, you know, any order. It doesn't have to be handicap order. So yeah, I do apologise for it, and it just shows you that, you know, you just never stop learning, do you? So if your ball is unfortunate to land in a hazard and you've got loose impediments in the way, you can actually move them now in the hazard. So twigs, leaves, you know, anything like that. So we've got a can here. This isn't how the bunkers are usually kept at Silston Golf, but we have just sort of, you know, done this for the demonstration purposes. So I'm going to move these to the side here. And now one of the other things, if by accident, you know, during that process, or, you know, as long as it's not to test the surface, by accident you do actually touch the ground, can you remember the penalty for that, Jules?
One-shot penalty?
Yeah, so you weren't allowed to ground your club in a bunker, you remember that, don't you?
I do, yeah.
You get to hover the ball. Now if by accident you do touch the ground, it's not a penalty anymore.
What about if you've addressed your shot?
I think, again, you know, if it's an accident, that's, you know, absolutely fine. So there's no penalty for that. Is that going?
Well, it's disappeared. Is it because it's snow on ground?
Is it in all?
It can't be. We've looked all around green, Gaz. Can't be. No. You're kidding me. Pinnacle 5.
So on the final ruler today, we're talking about a ball in a water hazard. So we've had a ball land in the water hazard. If we go to try and play that, which sometimes they are possible to play, if you do accidentally ground your club, it won't be a penalty. So if you see here, we've just landed in the water. I am going to try and play this one out. Is it a good idea standing on it, do you think?
I wouldn't imagine so, no.
This could end up a disaster, but we're going to try it.
Gaz, are you sure you want to do that?
I've accidentally grounded it.
Yeah.
We've played it out without penalty. We've got it out, we've advanced the ball, and there's no penalty for grounding the club by accident. So I think what I'm quite interested to find out really is, you know, how many of them rules did you know? How many were you using? And is there any of them rules that could now be used to your advantage that you weren't aware about? I mean, it's a conversation we've had earlier, but we just don't look at that white book enough, do we? You know, and I think these little sessions that what have been sort of people have been fond of on the channel are quite sort of soft ways of introducing rules, aren't they?
Yeah, I think you touched on it earlier in the conversation that you do tend to trust the people you're playing with instead of actually looking at the white book, and this what Gaz is sharing today, I think is really beneficial.
I mean, I think if this would have been around when I was learning golf, I'd have preferred watching this in front of TV or in a living room with a coffee, and rather than sort of reading from a book. And I think that's probably why we probably overlooked the rules a little bit, and we weren't willing to learn from pros and tutorials. But this is certainly the way, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah.
So get in comments, guys. Let us know what you've learned today, and how many of them rules you were actually using. Because for me, I think there are only 2 or 3 of them that were off the top of my head. I've had to learn the rest. So
enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it, yeah.
Yeah.
If you've enjoyed that, guys, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and get in the comments, and we'll see you on Monday.